Hello, everybody. This is Myron J, the coach, and this is the Myron J Show. Freestyle Friday, each and every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So, again, Freestyle Friday is just simply about myself and maybe a guest that I might have on, just talking about different subjects, different topics here and there throughout the show. So, we may go from one topic to the next. So we're not going to stand on or sit on the same topic over and over again. So I just want to just throw that out there real quick for you new listeners. And also make sure y'all check out Topic Tuesday each and every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. You will love it. I got some great guests on that show. It's on YouTube. It is on Spotify, Mixcloud, and Apple Podcasts or Podcast Apple. So make sure y'all check that out. You will love that also. So that's Topic Tuesday on the Myron J Show. So today I want to discuss with you all or talk about domestic violence. It's a very tough subject for a lot of people, and it's very sensitive as well. I myself have experienced domestic violence on both ends of committing domestic violence and receiving domestic violence. For a lot of you that don't know, I was married for 3 years. I've been divorced for 4 now. We was together for 7.5 years total. And we have to understand that domestic violence is both physical and verbal. And so with my situation in my marriage, it was both, but it was way more verbal than anything. And if it was, it wasn't, the physical part wasn't a lot, but nonetheless, it was there. And it wasn't like an everyday thing or every month thing or anything of that nature, but it was there. So that's the most important part, to know that it was there a lot. And we argued more than anything. And specifically, I feel that it was due to us being on different pages. She was a few years younger than I was. And sometimes age don't mean anything. It's all about your maturity level as well. So let me just say that and throw it out there. She was a great mother and a great person, but I think that we just wasn't great for each other. We was on 2 different levels in our life and at 2 different points of our lives where the maturity level wasn't there for us. And a lot of times we argued on my behalf. On what I can say is we argued due to me being tired of pulling all the weight or feel like I'm pulling all the weight, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, wanting attention, affection, and have to initiate that all the time, every single time. It was almost as if things wouldn't get done or talked about or whatever unless I initiated first. I don't care what it was. And I got tired of it. And some might say, well, why you just didn't leave? It's easier said than done, right? You want to leave, but at the same time, you don't want to start back over. You just want that person to get their stuff together. You just want that person to wake up and realize, hey, this is the one for me. I need to try to do better. And that's why a lot of people stay in relationships these days, because they invested so much time and they just want that person to get their stuff together. That's pretty much it. And then they love them, of course. They do love them. And so that's why a lot of people stay in toxic relationships. But it's very important to know how to handle your emotions. You can go to therapy, go to counseling. Life coach can possibly help with that as well. I am a life coach also. But it's very important to know that you need to learn how to manage your emotions. And also, we all need to keep our hands to ourselves, man, woman, whatever. We need to keep our hands to ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. And just to tell you guys my story, and I wrote a book about this called Married, Divorced by God. I wrote a book about it. It's on Amazon right now, so make sure y'all go check it out. And I pretty much wrote the book because I want to help someone understand their situation, and definitely mine, because I know a lot of people are going through or have gone through the same thing that I've gone through right now, but I was just brave enough or had the courage to put it out there. But it was never God, never wanted to write a book, but yet here I am. So it's out there. So make sure y'all go check out Married, Divorced by God on Amazon. So with my situation, I ended up, I'm gonna give y'all the shorter version. You have to go get the book to read the rest of it. But in my situation, it was physical, but it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't just straight fist fighting every day. So I went to jail. I'm skipping all the way to the jail part, yes. So I ended up going to jail. She called the police on me. It was the second time calling the police on me. She pressed charge on me one time before. But each time that, and let me say this also, we separated 3 times throughout the at least 3 to 4 times throughout the 3 years of us being married. We separated. And when we separated, we was gone from each other for like 3 to 5 months at a time, but we were still communicating in between months, and we were still having sex throughout that time. But she was still living with her parents, and I was at the house. And so we ended up. So one night we ended up getting arguing. Pretty much the whole day. I can't remember what it was about, y'all. So we ended up getting arguing, getting into it about whatever the situation was, and then so I ended up leaving the house. I needed I need a break. I just said, let me just leave, just go cool off, go buy me a beer or something. And so I did that, went by the lake, sat there by the lake, had a beer, talked to a couple of my friends or whatever, and just letting them know what was going on. And so I think before that, though, let me back up a little bit. Before I left, I was sitting in the garage on the phone. And I remember calling my best friend here in Texas. I'm located in Dallas, Texas now, but I'm from Mississippi. So this all happened in Mississippi. So I was on the phone with my best friend. I was crying so hard, y'all. I told my best friend, I said, man, I'm tired. I said, I'm tired of going through this, and we have kids. I have a daughter. I have a daughter with her, and she has a son, which is my son too. I still call him my son. And I just got tired of them seeing the arguing and hearing it and being scared of us in a sense whenever they saw us arguing, or even when we was playing, like play fighting or whatever. I saw the look in their face, the tense look in their face, because a lot of stuff happened in front of them. And that's not the way I wanted to live. That's not the way I grew up. And I can't speak for her, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she didn't grow up that way either. And so, but anyway, we ended up getting into it that night. I was throwing things, breaking things or whatever. She was just sitting there like nonchalant, like she didn't care. It was what it was. And so I ended up leaving and I ended up coming back. And I remember us getting to altercation when I got back, ended up throwing something at her, but it didn't hit her. So she got up and walked out the door. As soon as she walked out the door, again, we have kids in the house. It's like 11, 12 midnight. She walked out the door. I'm thinking she's going to go sit outside or probably take a walk up the street. So I locked the door briefly, locked the door for like a minute or two, and then I unlocked it. Next thing I know, we didn't get a physical fight or anything today, but next thing I knew, the police came. She called the police on me. That's what the second time she called the police on me, because she said that I locked her out the house because she wanted to get back in the house. When she could have easily knocked on the door. I never threatened her to leave. I never threatened her to come back. I never threatened her to leave. I never, none of that stuff. She left on her own. And I tell you, it was sometimes I would tell her to leave because I felt like she didn't want to be with me no way. And if you've been in relationships before, marriages, you know how it feels. The hurt behind the feeling of someone not really want to be with you because of their actions type deal, right? And so, because I feel like I was giving my all. I felt like I was doing my best. I'm taking care of a child's not even mine, financially doing what I need to do financially, just working hard, and try to provide, conversation, trying to communicate, trying to be affectionate, trying to go on dates. And I just feel like I was doing everything. I'm just going to be honest with you. So anyway, police came and got me or whatever. And it was because I had a contempt of court on my record, on my file or whatever. I never knew I had one because, like I said, she pressed charges on me before because we got into a scuffle or whatever. But mind you, me and her was living together for several months since then. We kept getting back together. I didn't know anything about it. So that's really why I went to jail, because of that. Not because of she called the police. It was because I had a contempt of court charge on my record. Just riding around through, where we were living at. Never known it was on my record at all. End up going to jail. And then not knowing where I was going, it was for whatever reason, I was calm throughout the whole thing. She ended up giving them my ID and stuff like that when I left and all that kind of stuff. I remember my daughter coming out the room and said, Daddy, I want to go with you. Before the police came, Dad, I want to go with you. And so I took her and put her in our bedroom. But anywho, so I ended up going to jail. They took me to the holding room area. Then they transferred me over to the county jail. Had to go get booked in from there. And my first day in there, y'all, was like, it was on a Thursday morning, well, Friday morning, rather. I was in there for the whole weekend with 20 different other guys coming and going. Couldn't even use the bathroom like I wanted to. The food was trash, but nobody bothered anybody. It was cold in there. We had blankets, but it was cold, and I just felt claustrophobic because I'd never been in this situation before. You know, I'm 38 years old now. At the time, I'm probably about 33, 34, something there. Never thought I'd be in that situation before my life. But for whatever reason, I was calm through the whole thing. I was praying. I was just ready to get out. I didn't understand. I was ready to get out. And so we ended up going over to another place where they keep most of the guys that has misdemeanor charges, which was like 2 minutes down the street from where I was. It was a wide open area, number of bunk beds. You know, nobody bothered anybody. Everybody was cool. Everybody was like good. You know, me not ever being to jail before, I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it was going to be. But I got over there. Everybody was cool. Everybody was trying to do their time and get out. The food was a little bit better. We had a little more time to do, whatever out there on the yard area or in the open area that we have. But at the same time, I'm in a situation in a place where I never thought I'd be at. And end up going to see the judge on a Monday. The judge gave me another week in jail. So, but I ended up getting out of that Thursday. But while I was in there, I ended up losing my job because I had a kind of job that I was the only person that was working there. So everybody was dependent on me. It was a truck driver, instructor, recruiter job. Everybody was depending on me or whatever. I couldn't call my boss, tell him what was going on and any of that stuff. So ended up losing my job. My mom told me that over the phone. I ended up crying or whatever because I was like, that was just too much for me at that moment, But I was thankful for good friends and good family that whenever I called them, they was able to talk to me. They answered their phone. They accepted the charges, and I was just grateful to be able to have them to talk to, and so didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going to be happen after that. So like I said, when I went to the judge, I think the hardest thing of being there, one of the hardest thing of being there, is just seeing my mom and dad seeing me with a jumpsuit on. This is when I went to court on that Monday. See me with a brown jumpsuit on, handcuffed from hand to feet, like I was like a murderer. No offense to anybody, but like I was just like a straight criminal. And that was so hard for my family to see me like that because they never saw me or anybody in our family for that matter in that manner. And then so the judge ended up giving me like $70,000 bond. Of course, you pay your 10% or whatever it is of that. But it was like, wow, And so end up getting out of jail. Thankfully, I ended up getting out of jail on Thursday. Yeah, that following Thursday, I ended up getting out of jail. Just going on with my life like ain't nothing happened. It was JSU homecoming. Just going on through my life with like nothing happened. End up hosting the event. Just enjoying myself. End up DJing, and I haven't seen the kids in about 2 or 3 weeks or so. So I had to wear an ankle monitor, and the judge told me not to go back around the house that I provided for, paid the bills for, and everything else. Told me I couldn't go around the house for 1,400 feet with the ankle monitor, 1,400 or 1,500 feet with the ankle monitor on. And so, but just back up just a little bit while I was in there, I told my mom and dad to go get all of my stuff out of there. Like my clothes, my DJ stuff, go get all my stuff out of there, take it home. And she was there. She let them in. They talked to her for a minute or whatever. I can't remember 100% what the conversation was about. So it was a rough time for me. Some people may say that a week is not nothing, but it can be a lot when you're in an unfamiliar place that you never thought you'd be in. You're in a place that you can't go anywhere. You can't do nothing. You went from having freedom to no freedom, being able to go where you please, eat what you want, to not being able to do that at all. So it was like a tough time for me or whatever. And I used to say, I ain't never going to jail. I ain't built for that. I'm trying to do right out here, And so in that, so I had to wear ankle monitors. I had to pay for that. I had to pay a fine. I had to pay a lawyer. Ended up having to pay a lawyer $800. I had to get the ankle monitor was $400 some dollars. I had to pay a court fee was $200 some dollars. And probably had to pay almost $4,000 to get out, to bond out. And all this money that was adding up, and then I had to pay some other fees later on. All this money adding up, y'all. It was literally, I'm up here thinking, man, where I'm gonna get all this money from? I'm thinking that I don't have this much money saved up, but my family came through on me for bonding me out. But it was so crazy because it's like all this money that I'm spending, I could be taking care of my daughter. I could be taking care of our son. It can go towards bills, a family trip or something, or whatever the situation may be. Like, oh, this money I'm spending. And I just feel like it was just a waste of money. So I end up going to court 30 days later from me getting out, I had ended up going to court. And the judge, like, of course, I had a white judge, but I just felt like from how he was talking, he wanted to give me some time. And so, and y'all know how it is with us in the court system, domestic violence, serious, very serious situation, excuse me. And so I just told, and again, this is in my book, but I just told my lawyer asked me what I wanted to do. I said, can I go pay a fine or something? Can I go to class, take some classes or something, go to some kind of program? And I wasn't even trying to fight the case, y'all, because I felt like had I fought the case, I was going to end up getting some more time, either 3 to 6 months in jail. I was looking at possibly getting my rights to bear arms taken away from me. And so my thing is, if I'm in jail, how am I going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to pay the bill? But most importantly, this was my number one thought was, how am I going to take care of my kids? I was thinking they need me. I didn't want to be away from them for 3 months, 60 days, 2 months. I don't care if it was a month. I didn't want to be away from them like that. So I went ahead and just pleaded guilty. I didn't even try to fight it. I didn't try to fight my case, trying to tell my side of it. I just pleaded guilty. And she was okay with it. She wanted to drop the charges or whatever, but I just pleaded guilty, paid the fine, had to pay my lawyer, had to end up getting the anchor monitor taken off, and end up having to go to a class and like a domestic violence type class every Wednesday for 6 months, $25 every Wednesday. One time she gave me some money to help me pay for those fees. She gave me some money to help me pay the court fee or what have you. And so it's so crazy because even though I was in there in jail and all this stuff happened, I still love her. I mean, love just don't go away just that quickly. I still loved her. In a sense, I still wanted to be with her. But it got to a point where I knew that I need to do what I needed to do, rather, and not what it came down to. I need to do what I need to do and not what I wanted to do. So I knew I need to leave this situation because I told her months ago when she called the police the first time, I said, look, we can't keep doing this. I said, somebody will end up in jail, dead, in the hospital or something. And we already experienced almost everything now except jail and death before the whole jail thing. So I guess she felt comfortable enough again to call the police that second time. And let me tell you something about people. People, when you let people make it, in a sense, not make it to the point where you don't say nothing about whenever they wronged you, but when you let them make it to the point where they did something bad to you, you don't like it, you voice your opinion about it, and then you accept them back in your life. In some cases, they're going to do it again. Why, you asked? Because you gave them a chance. They plan on you giving them another chance after that. So when I left, so the day before my birthday, I decided to file for a divorce. Again, I needed to do this. It wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. Because I know, because God has already given me all the signs and showed me all the red flags and everything else for years on end, but I ignored them. So be careful what you ask God for, by the way, y'all. So I went and filed for a divorce. I left. I never went back to the house. Maybe like once or twice or whatever, if I could think of. But as far as like moved back in, I never moved back into the house. I wanted to give her everything. I wanted her to have the whole house. I didn't want nothing. Just my stuff. That's it. But of course, financially, she wasn't able to do it. But so of course, I ended up selling the house. I ended up selling the house several months later, but that's a different topic though. And so domestic violence is a very hard thing. And let me tell you, it's a misdemeanor, but if you get enough of them, a couple of it turns to a felony. So mine was a misdemeanor. But do you know the embarrassment or the feeling of having to put this on your job application every time you apply for a job? Like, you got to tell these folks about your criminal history or background if they ask on the application every time you find a job. So when I got ready to move to Dallas, Texas, which was like several months later, I was on panic mode. Like, I was worried, I was concerned, like, man, I got this on my record. Like, these folks ain't gonna hire me, man, not with this on there. Had a good friend at the time that was trying to help me figure this thing out. That's not, let me tell y'all something, that's not how you want to live. Like, that's not the way you want to feel. And so the job thing was a big concern. To this day, I still have to do it right now. To this day, I still have to do it. Now I need to work on a way of getting expunged for my records. But to this day, it's on there. I still have to put it on there. I still have to talk about it, which is crazy. I understand the work. It's not the business or the company's fault, but just want to put that out there to y'all. So the best way I can get across to people and get them to understand how serious relationships are, marriages, divorce, being in a toxic relationship, domestic violence, is to tell my story. And like I tell people all the time, I'm not going to, even on TikTok, on social media, whatever, I'm not going to talk about anything that I have not experienced in or been through, have gone through. I'm not going to even speak on it. I got experience in a lot of stuff that I talk about. That's one of the reasons why I became a life coach, to help somebody else not go through what I went through. And I can't speak for, and like I said earlier, at the end of the day, keep your hands to yourself and manage your emotions. Try your best to manage your emotions. But I want y'all to know that it's a lot that goes into domestic violence situations, death, the hospital, financially, money being taken out of your account that's really could have been going towards something else, having to put this stuff on, having to put your record, if you get found guilty, having to put that stuff on your record, having that stuff on your record, I'm sorry, and having to tell your jobs about it whenever you're applying for a job. Putting on your application whenever you're applying for a job, excuse me. So y'all have to think about that kind of stuff when it comes to putting your hands on someone. So now I don't mind being an advocate for domestic violence. I don't mind telling people, hey man, this ain't the way to go. You know, this ain't it. This ain't the way to go. Like, you don't lose your life or yourself on these situations. If you're in a domestic violence situation where it's like mentally or physically, do your best to safely get out of that situation. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. They're going to keep on doing it. And then they're going to manipulate you into staying financially, or especially if you're a woman, financially, or ain't nobody gonna else want you with 3, 4, 5 kids. Trust me, it's a lot of men out there that will accept you. Trust me. I've seen it. I've seen it on social media. They will. You know, they'll try to manipulate you into staying. But you have to be with women, you have to strategically plan your escape and be safe when you do so. I know y'all might have kids by this person, but it's a way of getting out. It's a way of doing things. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're okay. Don't let your kids see the wrong way to love or how to be in a relationship, or not to love for that matter, and how to be in a relationship. Take care of yourself at the end of the day. It's not worth it. None of this is worth it. I was even in another relationship after my ex-wife a year or so later, and this particular woman knew exactly what I've gone through, and she still was the aggressor in the relationship. Even trying to threaten me with the police, throwing stuff at me whenever she got mad at things didn't go her way. Well, I'm over here on the other hand. The only thing that I've done maybe a few times was pushed her out of my face, because I don't allow people to get out in my face, in my space. I'll walk off, but you're not going to get out in my face. I'm going to push you away. And I saw how that situation was. And I end up just letting that situation go. Took me a while because of other situations and things that was going on, but I knew I had to let that go as well. That situation was toxic, you know. And just know this: you don't have to go in every relationship where everybody that you date telling people about your past and what you have gone through. Everybody can't mentally handle it, so you have to tread lightly when you talk to other people about your past and your situations and things that you have gone through, because everybody can't handle it. And then a lot of people throw stuff in your face when they're mad, or they'll try to end up doing the same thing that the other person have done to you. You'll be lucky to get someone that say, hey, you know what? I don't want her to go through this no more. Or him for that matter. Let me treat them right. Let me do what I need to do, because I don't want them to ever experience that again. Let me show them that it's safe over here. It's a blessing to find someone like that, but you have to be careful on who you tell your business to. And know that love is not toxic. I made a post the other day that says toxic relationships being toxic in relationships, I'm just summarizing, being toxic in relationship has become so normal that when things are going good and everything just, going perfectly, we think something is wrong. We think this is too good to be true. Like, you must be cheating on me, or you must about to cheat on me or do something wrong. You got somebody else, or this is just a setup, or this is just how you act for right now, but you're not. It's a lot of great, healthy, and safe, peaceful, and happy people out there that's really not about that drama. Don't have time for it, probably have gone through it already, learned their lessons, have healed with the counseling, therapy, all that good stuff, that will still love you. We have to start promoting healthy relationships. Love is not toxic. Love is not abusive. Love is not domestic violence. Love is not negative. Love is love. God is love. Love is happiness. Love is peaceful. Love is just that calm feeling that you have over yourself and for other people or the person that you're in a relationship with or dating. That's love. That's what love is all about. That's the kind of love that you should want every single day of your life. And like my dad used to tell me, God rest his soul, I always choose happiness. I always choose to be happy. Life is too short to be anything but happy. My dad used to always say that. So if you're out there and you're listening, or if you know somebody that's going through a domestic violence situation or have gone through it, they're trying to make it through it, you are going to be all right. Go and get some therapy, go and get some counseling. If you want to reach out to me, I am a certified life coach. You can contact me on my website, myronjthecoach.com. If you got questions, you can contact me at info@myronjthecoach.com. I know divorce coaches that can assist. I know a few therapists and counselors that I can connect you with, depending on what area you're in. But by all means, take care of yourself. Love yourself at the end of the day. Make sure that you are okay. Make sure that you are right, because if you're not okay or all right mentally and you're not happy or at peace mentally, then everything around you is going to fail. Your kids, the job, the career that you're trying to work on. Don't look over those bad trauma issues. Even if it wasn't physical, there's still a lot of verbal hurt there, or a lot of verbal actions there that person may have done to you. Still go and get help. I've gone to therapy myself. Did it for 6 months, going back probably later on this year. So go and get therapy, go and get help. Make sure you are healed first before you start dating someone else. I did a show called Healing Before Dating. It's on my YouTube channel. Just go and check out the Myron J Show, and you'll see that it was a great show with me and one of the divorce coaches and therapists on there, along with myself. So make sure y'all go check that out on my YouTube channel, Myron J the Coach. I'm sorry, the Myron J Show. So, but I just want to share that with you guys on Freestyle Friday. Sorry to sound so serious, but this is a serious situation. It's a very sensitive situation. Take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. Again, if you're in a toxic situation, if you're in a domestic violence type situation, please seek help and get out. Fellas, I love y'all, but I know that y'all are going through the same thing. Y'all have women that put their hands on y'all, and a lot of men don't say anything because we're looked at as weak if we go and say anything or call the police or we want to leave or whatever the situation may be. Fellas go through it too. We just don't really talk about it as much. So fellas, I'm telling y'all, I don't care how good of a woman she is. Ladies, I don't care how good of a man he is. But nobody is that good to the point where you're allowing them to put their hands on you. You allow them to verbally abuse you. Nobody's that good. That's not the way to live. So I just want to share that with you guys. I think that's it for me. I pray that you guys have a great and blessed weekend. Make sure you check out the Myron J Show, Freestyle Friday, each and every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Check out Topic Tuesday, each and every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Go and check the replays. We got a lot of great topics, a lot of great guests on the show. So make sure y'all go check me out on there. And also, if you want to be a part of Freestyle Friday, if you want to be my guest, if you got a topic you want to talk about, hey, reach out to me at info@myronjthecoach.com. Let me know what it is. We can talk about it. I love to have you as a guest. So again, y'all have a great weekend. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Myron J Show. Freestyle Friday. Y'all have a blessed day.